Now, an exclusive 69 News investigative report. The people living in a quiet Northampton County neighborhood say they are living in a war zone.
Yeah, they tell us they feel like prisoners in their own home, fearful that anytime, any day, they could be shot. And they say the worst part is no one is doing anything about it.
WFMZ's Hillary Lane has been looking into this for us. And Hillary, you've been investigating this for months now, and it's hard to believe what you have found out.
That's right, Wendy and Rob. Well, it all started back in April when we received calls from concerned neighbors. They told us bullets were flying into their backyards and into their homes. They say they contacted police and legislators, and so far nothing has been done to make the gunfire stop. So for the past 5 months, we've been investigating to find out where the bullets are coming from and who is responsible for stopping it.
This is a typical Sunday in the Foles family's backyard.
I can't stop.
We only come outside on Sundays. It's the only time that I feel safe to bring her out here.
Every other day of the week,
We're scared for our lives.
with a gun range less than a mile away,
My 4-year-old daughter knows what it sounds like to hear a bullet whistle past her head.
Haley's parents and grandparents, who all live here, say she must play inside.
What's going to happen to her if she gets shot? I don't know how to stop it.
The Foles family and other neighbors here who didn't want to appear on camera say bullets from the nearby Stockertown Rod and Gun Club are flying into their backyards and into their homes.
I shouldn't have to be afraid of my own house, and neither should the rest of the neighbors. They shouldn't have to be afraid to walk in their backyard.
We're the easiest target.
Lee Clewell is president of the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club. The range has been in the community for more than 50 years.
Do you believe the bullets that are flying into that neighborhood are coming from this range?
Not for 1 second.
With the ammunition used here, is it feasible that the bullets could reach that neighborhood?
Yeah, they shoot some very big weapons here. Yes, they could go much farther than, yeah. Absolutely.
But again, Clewell insists the bullets aren't coming from his range.
The gun club isn't breaking any laws because there aren't any laws on a local, state, or national level governing gun range safety. There are just guidelines from the National Rifle Association.
Every year, we try to make improvements back here. If I thought it was from us, we would possibly shut the range down in a heartbeat. But I need to see proof that it really is coming from here.
There's no doubt in my mind that this is coming from the range.
Former Stockertown police officer Ken Collins says he personally investigated calls for stray bullets into neighbors' homes when he was on the force in 2012.
The actual firing line is in direct line with these houses that are being struck.
And he isn't the only one who says the range is at fault.
It's been an ongoing problem for over 3 years.
This former Stockertown police officer says he also recovered bullets from neighboring homes that he is sure were coming from the club. He agreed to talk to us if we hid his identity.
Police chief hasn't adequately addressed the problem.
Both former officers insist they approached Stockertown Police Chief Joe Slowey with their findings.
He was convinced that it was not coming from the gun range.
But when we approached Chief Slowey, he admitted there could be a chance the bullets were coming from the club.
You're saying the bullets could possibly be coming from there?
There's a possibility of anything could happen.
But even with the knowledge that the bullets could be coming from the range, the two officers insist Chief Slowey told them to stop investigating.
He told me not to spend any more time in any further investigation. That would be up to him.
He just wanted me to do a preliminary incident on the report and place it on his desk. That was the end of it.
No one has come to me directly and said, we know for a fact that these bullets are coming from the gun club. That is a falsehood. It has not happened.
But we obtained the Stockertown police report from 2012. In it, a former Stockertown police officer writes that the bullets hitting the neighborhood appear to be coming from the club. Have you ever seen that police report?
I have not seen that police report.
So we showed him the document. Have you ever seen this report?
I I would have to say somewhere, if this is my police report from 2012, I have probably seen it.
But didn't you say officers have never come to you before and said that this was an issue?
I am saying that, yes.
But in the report, right here on page 2, it clearly states the former police officer made contact with Chief Slowey and advised him of the call. The former officers tell us more than half a dozen police reports just like this one have been filed, where they stated the bullets appear to be coming from the club.
Under Pennsylvania's right to know law, we requested access to those other documents. The chief refused to give them to us. He told us it's because this case is still under investigation. But we spoke to multiple former officers who tell us the chief told them to stop investigating any cases related to the club more than 3 years ago.
He did not want me to further investigate.
But when we asked the chief if he told officers not to investigate, he said,
absolutely not.
You have families who are nervous for their kids to play outside. Is that concerning to you?
It's very concerning to me. But again, until we have the evidence in order to come to a definitive conclusion, we're going to take a day-by-day basis.
But the former officers say nothing has been done to protect the neighborhood from gunfire, even though those officers say they've reported to the chief that they believe the bullets are coming from the club.
I believe the police chief has a close alliance with the gun club.
And that relationship includes perks for officers on the force.
Any policeman out there who wants to come in and use our range, it's all open. We'll give them free memberships.
Including the chief. 69 News has confirmed Slowey takes advantage of that free membership, and the Stockertown Police Department uses the range for training purposes. A business relationship the chief insists is not a conflict of interest.
There's numerous gun clubs throughout the area that we could utilize.
But the officers continue to shoot for free at the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club, and the department even receives money from the range. Our cameras were rolling at the town's council meeting when the department received a $500 donation from the club.
It's greatly appreciated.
With knowledge of this donation, we asked the chief if he really was doing his best to protect the neighborhood.
That's a question that there's an impossible answer to.
But these two former officers say they know the answers.
It's clear that there is a problem, and it's coming from that range.
Anybody in that area could be injured, could be killed from a stray bullet.
We're certainly open to making mistakes.
And the family says those mistakes could cost this little girl her life.
I am scared for her. I'm scared for our family.
If something would happen to her, I don't know what I would do.
Nobody in her home. Shouldn't have to put up with this. I'm sorry.
And again, there are no laws regulating safety on gun ranges, but there could be. The NRA says the Borough Council has the power to enact ordinances, but they haven't, despite complaints from neighbors. And Wendy and Rob, we're planning on taking that police report and other information we've gathered to the DA and legislators as well, and we hope we have some more answers soon.
And those folks who in that part of Stockertown, no doubt want to hear what answers we come up with. So.
Keep us posted, please. Unbelievable.
Thank you so much, Hillary.
All right, thanks, Hillary.
A gun range that's kept neighbors on edge for years now has the attention of Northampton County's top cop.
District Attorney John Morganelli says his office will be taking a closer look at the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club following a 69 News investigation. WFMZ's Hillary Lane is here in the studio with more. Hillary.
Wendy, Rob, within hours of viewing our report, District Attorney John Morganelli launched a criminal investigation. He's vowed to get to the bottom of where the bullets are coming from, and he says that if it's the local gun range that's at fault, those running the club could face criminal charges.
I did view the investigative report that you did on this matter, and obviously there's a huge concern.
And now Northampton County District Attorney John Morganelli is taking action. He says he's sending a Pennsylvania State Police ballistics expert to the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club to examine the shooting range. It's all to find out if the range is safe and if the bullets neighbors say are flying into their homes and yards are in fact coming from the club.
If you engage in a course of conduct that endangers the health and welfare lives of individuals, then you can be held criminally responsible.
If something would happen to her, I don't know what I would do.
The DA is launching this criminal investigation just a few hours after a 69 News investigative investigative report on the range. Several neighbors nearby tell us that they're afraid to let their children play outside because bullets are hitting their homes and yards. Bullets that they say are coming from the range. But the president of the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club denies those claims. But in the end, he did admit to us that it wasn't out of the realm of possibility.
Now, District Attorney Morganelli says he'll be interviewing Stockertown's police chief and the former police officers we spoke to, as well as the board members of the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club. He'll also be reviewing the findings from the ballistics expert who will be investigating the gun range. Wendy and Rob were told this whole process could take a few days, so we hope to have an update as early as next week. Wendy.
A criminal investigation is now underway at a Northampton County gun range following a 69 News investigative report. The DA's office, as we've told you, is looking into whether bullets from the gun club are flying into neighbors' homes and yards.
In the meantime, we've uncovered what appears to be some glaring red flags when it comes to safety at that gun range. WFMZ's Hillary Lane is joining us in the studio with the latest on that tonight. Hillary.
Wendy, Rob, while there are no local, state, or national laws regulating safety on gun ranges, the NRA does have a set of safety guidelines that have been adopted by many gun ranges across the country. Now, during our visit to the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club, we found what appears to be some violations of these safety recommendations and some other questionable safety practices at the range.
Over the past few months, we visited the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club multiple times during operating hours. While there were signs that said members must display badges, when we were there was no one to check those badges. There wasn't even a login book to keep track of who was shooting at the club. And while the NRA says a safety range officer should be on the premises while a gun range is open, there was no one in sight at the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club.
We can't afford to pay people in our budget to come in here and watch this.
President of the club, Lee Kluhl, says there is a volunteer who stops by once in a while to watch the range. But for a good portion of the time while the club is open, gun range officials here admit there's no one supervising.
Now, if someone isn't here all the time, how can you be sure that the bullets are not coming from here?
Well, if there's nobody here, I can't.
Gun range officials even admit to us that many times they don't even know who's using their range.
We do have people come through here when it's supposed to be closed.
So that's why gun range officials told us they were going to install security cameras. Kluhl first informed us of this plan over 4 months ago. When we followed up just a few weeks ago, we were told those cameras won't be installed for another few months.
The one estimate I got was $8,000, so it's all hinging on me.
But is $8,000 worth it to keep the community here safe? Heaven forbid something happens to someone.
I hate to sound like a jerk, but if you give me the $8,000, I'll do it right away. That's a lot of money for us.
Now, I did reach out to the gun range president today to ask him if he has set a date to install those cameras or if he's planning on making any other changes now that the club is under investigation. He told me I'm not going to talk about the gun club until we can figure out the correct course of action. Back to you guys.
An update for you now on a 69 News investigative report on the local gun range.
A few weeks ago, we reported how the Northampton County DA, in reaction to that report, has opened an investigation into the safety of the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club. Well, now another area gun club has come under fire for similar reasons. WFMZ's Hillary Lane is in the newsroom with more.
Wendy and Rob, after we aired that report on the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club, many of you from all over the region contacted me and told me that bullets are also flying into your backyards and into your homes, and you believe they're coming from your local gun ranges. We specifically heard from one community in Plainfield Township, and now gun range officials have closed down the club there.
There's one down below, and there's one hitting the gutter down there.
There are 3 bullet holes in total in the side of Joanna Griffin's Plainfield Township home.
My son's bedroom is right next to one of the holes, so, I could have gone through the window and shot him.
Another homeowner living near the Edelman-Belfast Sportsmen Association says she just patched up these bullet holes. Neighbors say they've complained about the range to the Slate Belt Regional Police Department multiple times over the past few years. Investigations have been inconclusive. After we reported that the Northampton County District Attorney is investigating the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club, officials at the Edelman-Belfast Sportsmen Association shut down their range indefinitely for the first time in more than 20 years.
As to the particulars of how or why it closed, We're not really privy to that at this time.
But Municipal Manager Tom Petrucci did say that the recent investigation in Stockertown, along with concerns from neighbors at public meetings, and a recent push by Township Council to enact an ordinance to make the gun range safer, all could have played a part. But locals living nearby say no matter the reason, they're just relieved that gunfire is no longer coming from the club.
Makes me feel a lot better now that it's closed, so yeah.
We reached out to gun range officials multiple times, and our calls have gone unanswered. Reporting in the newsroom, Hillary Lane, 69 News.